Okay, so we will start our webinar for today. So before we start our program, magkakaroon po muna tayo ng opening prayer and then national anthem and the Odiongan hymn.
Let's put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed upon us. We are truly grateful for them. Thank you for allowing us today to meet and share our knowledge and time with one another in this seminar. May you extend your divine wisdom to our speaker so that he would be able to impart effectively his God-given knowledge to all of us. May he be blessed as he continues to bring his expertise to people who need them. Bless the participants as well, so that they would be able to glean the vital information from this activity. May you bestow your blessings after this seminar, so that we may go out and spread what we learned in the spirit of your love and generosity. May we realize that this activity should glorify your name. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, telas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyagan ang magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tulog sa simoy at sa langit ng bagaw, ay hinagang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang islang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magtitindig. Lumalang araw ng walang pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya na magpatay ang amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Sa kapelas ng silangan, sa puso ng kabuluhan, sa angking mong kagandahan, duyan ka ng kapayapaan. Bantayan ng kagitingan, sipat ay karunungan, laging mahali ka, di ba gagapi kanino man. Sandigan ko'y lakas mo, upang di sumuko, kagandahan ng kalikasan mo, isisigaw ko sa buong mundo. Odiongan, pinakamamahal kong bayan. Odiongan, taglay mo'y liwanag. Odiongan, hatid mo'y ligaya. kay sarap sambitin bawat tula at awit ng pag-ibig. Sandigan ko'y lakas mo upang di sumuko. Kagandahan ng kalikasan mo isisigaw ko sa buong mundo. Odiongan no kahit tatat, taglay mo'y sinag ng pag-asa. Sa sipag mo't tiyaga, larawan kang hindi kukupas. Sanda ko man hindi iiwan, mananatiling tapat sa bayan. Magbuhay ka, taas noo, isigaw Odionganon ka. Odiongan, pinakamamahal kong bayan. Odiongan, taglay mo'y liwanag. Odiongan, hatid mo'y ligaya. Sa tabing dagat, bukang liwayway mo'y masisilayan. Mabuhay ka, Odiongan.
Okay po, to formally start our program, tinatawagan po natin ang aming Internal Auditor of LG Odiongan, Mr. Ivan John C. Ferriol, for his welcome remarks po. Sir?
Hello, good morning. Clear naman po ako, no? So, good morning po ulit sa lahat ng offices na nandito, umattend po no, sa mga departments na nandito, ganun din po from other agencies na nandito din, or from other LGUs within Maropa. Welcome po. Welcome din po sa ating speaker, si Ma'am Jackie. Thank you po ulit, ma'am. So, for today's webinar, madami tayong matutunan for sure. Kasi nga ay ang field ng auditing is bago na. No? So kahit siguro pag kayo sa offices nyo or pag nagkakanta kayo ng audit sa barangay, no? Yung office nyo. So pwede nating i-adapt itong yung ganitong methodology or ganitong framework. So ayun po, no? Same time, ang araw na to ay second year anniversary kung kailan na-establish ang Internal Audit Services Unit sa Municipality of Odiongan. So, dalawang taon na po kami, no? Dalawang taon na rin po kami na naging partner nyo, partner ng LG Odiongan sa endeavors towards kung ano yung objectives natin as LGU. So, welcome po ulit. So, binabalik ko na po ating floor sa host po. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Ivan. So our webinar will be starting at 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. afternoon, and we also have invited a speaker who is a certified internal auditor. So to introduce our speaker for today, may I call on again our internal auditor, Mr. Ivan John C. Ferriol, to introduce our resource speaker for today.
Ayan. Good morning po ulit. So, yung speaker natin for today is, kung naalala nyo in February, siya yung speaker natin about sa tools and techniques in internal auditing. So, si Ma'am Jackie, yun po ang ating speaker for today. Siya po siyang certified internal auditor and then certified in cybersecurity. So, Ma'am Jackie, good morning. Welcome po.
Good morning again. First of all, congrats, no? Sorry. So congrats and happy anniversary to your Internal Audit Services Unit. And good morning, everyone. So it's really It's really an honor to be back, no, in another hour siguro of knowledge sharing session na naman on how our sector, no, the private sector implements internal auditing. So without further ado, maybe we can start our presentation. All right. Okay, so I believe we can start second slide, no? Our session outline for today. So for today's session, no, I would just like to introduce what is remote auditing, and then the core part of this session would be discussing the advantages and the challenges of remote auditing, as well as how our internal audit team address those challenges. And then I will also be, hello, am I clear? Sorry, there's no sound now. Am I clear now to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Clear naman po.
Okay, sige. Just if meron palang concerns, no, feel free to chat, no. Okay, so again, for the last part, no, I will also be discussing how we transitioned, no, from remote auditing to another audit strategy or audit implementation, which is hybrid auditing. So, okay, so let's discuss first what is remote auditing on the next slide. So, okay. On the next slide, please. Ayan. So, remote audit is also known as virtual audit. No? This is a method of conducting audit in any place other than the auditee's location. So, it does not necessarily mean na work from home lang siya. No? So, anywhere. So, this is not only limited at home, but to any location, no, other than the place of our process owner's audit. Process owner's office. Yeah. So we use electronic methods such as video conferencing, email, and telephone, no, to obtain our audit evidence. So so that's it. That's a remote audit. Basically, what we do in our site, no, is just transferred to another location. So we are not physically there in the site to conduct the audit, but we are conducting it remotely or electronically. So we are very heavy on using electronic methods such as this one, no, video conferencing, and even phone calls, no, for worst case scenario, because sometimes we cannot expect our auditees to have internet connection, no, stable internet connection. So we really go beyond our boundaries and accommodate them through phone calls, no, if that works with them. Okay, for the next slide, I would just like to share to you how our internal audit team implemented, or what is our journey, no, in implementing the remote auditing strategy. So as you can see, it's 2020 when the pandemic started, right? And on March 16, 2020, so our office is received, no, the notice of work stoppage and lockdown. So meaning to say, we are really there is no warning, no, other than yung mga news before na merong cases ng COVID at that time, but we really did not foresee na at that moment. So everything really stopped, no, even our operations, not only internal audit, no, but our operations, except for those who are in the plants, because electricity still, no, yung power pa rin still cannot be stopped, no, because that is really needed at that moment. So yun. So because of that, no, we are part of the essential, you can say essential function of the society, no. Internal audit cannot also say, cannot also um, stop din in supporting our core process, which is yung mga operations and maintenance namin, in producing their energy, their power. So we have to move really fast in implementing or restoring our operations, no, and our services, so that we can support the process owners on time. So that's why, no, with our efforts, no, March 16, on April, the next month, no, just around 2 weeks, no, we have already issued our engagement letter for our very first remote audit engagement. So we only have 2 weeks in all to prepare everything. But to do that, so merong mga birth pains yan. I will just discuss that earlier. But it is really not that. I mean, if those enablers is not present, no, in our company, I don't think, no, we can move forward as fast as 2 weeks, no, to restart our services, or to give our services back, no. And then from May May onwards, no, until the year of 2021, no, all of our audits are conducted remotely, meaning 100%, no, regardless if that audit is a assurance remotely. But coming 2022 onwards, just last year, we have already transitioned to hybrid audit, in hybrid audit strategy, no, and we cannot stay on that setup, no. So we have to really move forward and think of ways how to address then yung innate disadvantage of remote auditing. So yun, so that's our journey, no. It's really not parang adventurous, no? If you see that on that particular graphics, no. But as we go on, you can understand, no, how challenging it was for us, no, as I discuss the challenges later on. But before that, no, we can just discuss muna, no, on the next slide, what are the advantages of remote auditing. So the biggest advantage would be efficiency for us, no. As you can see that we have an increase on efficiency in internal audit. So how do we measure efficiency, no? For our team, we measure it through Mondays, no? Mondays, meaning to say the amount of days working hours, or 8 hours divided by 8 hours, no? One Monday is equal to 8 hours because that is our office hours. And of that day, that amount of Monday, we call that Monday, no? That we spend on an audit engagement. So that's the first element of our audit efficiency. The second element would be our the number of audit engagement that we finished during the year. So as you can see there are numbers, no, for our audit Mondays. Usually when we do the traditional auditing where we physically go at site, we spend around 80 to 125 Mondays. So that's equivalent to around 120 na working days, tama yan. So that's how long our engagement goes, no, from end to end. But now when we implemented the remote audit strategy and even the hybrid, no, until now, so our regular audit Mondays, no, reduced from 30 Mondays and up to 60 Mondays, no, at the maximum. So it's really a big difference, no, for us. And then the next one would be there are fewer auditors, no, that is working on an engagement. So before, no, the reason also why we have 120 audit Mondays is because we are a big team, no. Usually ang magpupunta sa site is a team of 5 auditors, no, including the team lead. And now our team works on a small units na lang, no. So the maximum would be three auditors including the leader. But there is beauty with that, no, because the the auditors no that were involved would be those who are really who are already competent enough to conduct the audit no, and the others no, they will be allocated to another audit engagement where they are also more competent in that area. So as a result no, apart from reducing our Mondays no, it also enabled us to conduct more engagement no at a certain period of time. For example, this season is April and May. During our traditional audit, the team of 17, okay, so we are, for context no, we are 17 no, in the group. So the team of 17 auditors and audit managers and supervisors would be divided into just two audits no, and yun lang. So for April and May, so at the maximum we can only conduct four audits. Four audits no kasi per month siya. But now on this month of April pa lang no, we already have four ongoing engagement no, sabay-sabay. Sometimes it's six no kasi merong isa lang for that area, but he or she is really the expert na in that area. So that's our greatest no, or I can say the biggest advantage that we have when we started or implemented remote and hybrid auditing. The next one would be this one no, yung data driven audit approaches no. This is an advantage to us no, because during that time we cannot rely on physical verification at site no, so there is only data for us to work with. So yun lang, kailangan yung kung ano lang yung masubmit sa amin ng process owner, kung ano lang yung makita namin sa system, those are the information that we can only work with no, with our audit. So because of that no, the auditors were encouraged to employ data analytics to further understand the data. So na talaga nagbalik kami dun sa mga basics in statistics natin, min, max, averaging, and everything no, up until we some of us really learned no yung mga data analytics languages, programming languages na that is really famous na on the data analytics na parlance no. So it really pushed us no as an audit team to rely on data no and understand our data no, kasi we realize na marami palang sinasabi yung data sa amin, and we do not really need to go to the site to verify no, because the data is already here no. Ayan, so because of that as well, so our audit coverage is now targeted. So when we can see at the data no, kung ano yung results ng aming data analytics, and we can see that this area or this particular process no, of that air process, for example SCM na naman. So dun sa mga nag-attend sa akin before or yung nakinig sa akin before no, it's favorite namin yung SCM. So yan. When we see no, doon pa din problema on data. So that's where we put our efforts no, or our time resources in digging, analyzing kung ano yung may improve namin on that area. So that's how it is. And we also we nagra-random sampling na ito kunin natin to, ito kunin natin to. We already set a criteria for that kasi alam na namin yung behavior ng data. So yung mga samples namin din entire population to represents din yung outliers no, or it can give us an insight kung ano yung mga outliers sa data. Okay, so next is ayun nga, because of these first three, our audit would be so detailed na that it produces na deeper insights no. We no longer present our report as compliant ka ba or not compliant no. It's more, is your system working as it is intended, or is your system working but there is a lot of elements that has to be improved no, or has to be changed no, for for your process or your audit for your process to become more more catering to what the changes of the environment is bringing no to our society. So yun yung isa sa mga if you remember the slide that I mentioned earlier. So internal audit gives advice, assurance, and insights. So yun na no, nakikita na natin na our internal audit team can already provide insights, no. That's why we can already produce a consulting engagement, because we are already leaning towards giving consultancy services with them, not only assurance and just traditional checking. Okay, so I've leaned onto that specific slide na, no. So for the next slide, no, another advantage would be the increase in savings and lesser cost. So no more out-based travel for us, no, during that time lang naman, and accommodation, because again, as I said earlier, we are a team of 5, no, very big. Meron pa nga kaming engagement na like 12 kami lahat, pumunta kami doon sa site, no. But this is really a big engagement, and just imagine, no, how it costs, no, for us, no, yung air tickets and yung hotel accommodation. It's really big, no. But because of remote auditing, so we saved a lot of cost during that should have been spent, no, in conducting that engagement. And also the biggest advantage, no, on the process owner side is that we can disrupt them less, no, because when we go at the site, so yung process owners mismo, no, parang pag sinabi natin from Monday to Friday po magkakaroon kami ng audit sa site ninyo, for example sa barangay, so that Monday to Friday, no, entire Monday to Friday, their energy will be spent on you. So syempre yung mga process owners natin nasa tenterhook sila palagi. Andyan yung auditor, baka may kailangan si auditor, baka may tanong si auditor. So yun yung nangyayari at the traditional audit strategy. But during the remote auditing, no, because we cannot conduct an audit, no, or a video meeting session na entire 8 hours, right? So the audit team have to budget the time, manage the time really well, no, so that we can disrupt the process owners really less than how it was before, no, during the traditional auditing era pa, no. So in that, no, as a result, no, yung mga process owners natin, no, they have more time to accomplish yung mga core roles nila, no, instead of just accommodating the audit team, no, for that entire audit timeline. Again, another one would be, or the last one would be the less exposure, no, on COVID at that time, and even now, no. So the health hazard for that, and also the safety hazard, no. It's really for us, no, kasi we are part of the power generation and distribution team. So our audit sites are not situated in the city, no. So yung mga power plants natin nakalocate yan sa mga kabundukan, yan. So sa mga so the audit team, if we really need to go at site, so we have to really travel at on those hazardous places. And now because of traveled na less, no, yung need to travel on those high risk areas, no, were already minimized. Okay, so those are the advantages of remote auditing. So yun. So for our next slide, this would be the challenges na in remote auditing. So I have, for this session, no, I only chose 10 of our biggest challenges remote auditing, and we can discuss this one by one. So for this slide siguro, if some of you there, no, has an access to the Zoom chat, sinong alin dito on this first 4, no, yung naiisip nyo na pinaka magiging challenge nyo if you will be part of the remote audit team, or if your team would be will be implementing remote audit? Sige,
No
anyone?
physical. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no physical audit procedure.
Audit
Thank you.
procedure.
Yeah, nice. So, anyone pa? Anyone pa? So, ano yun sa tingin nyo parang pinaka nakakatakot dito? Maybe you can show din yung next slide. Internet and power interruption. Yes. Yeah. Meron pang next slide yan. Baka nasa next slide yung ano nyo. Sige daw. Yan. So, meron pang yan. So, alin pa dito yung mga pinaka parang pinaka-stage niya auditing. So, yung kanina, we have physical audit procedure, we have no internet power interruption. So, wala na. Okay, so maybe yun lang, no? Siguro yun yung pinaka-biggest na fear talaga, no, ng team ninyo, no? But, for us, no, we have to deal with these 10 na, no, so we can go back to the first slide, the last slide ulit. So, we have to deal with this, unresponsive process owner and team members, no? I included team members, no, because minsan yung audit team din mismo nawawala. It's really true, no? So, yun. And this first slide, no, these are, I think, the very I should say yung parang pinaka hardest for us to address, no, because these are all connected with how we do, or parang how we have yung parang ito yung basic for us to do the audit itself, no, regardless of remote ba siya or how do you call this, traditional siya. Yung naging buzzword nga natin before, no, skeletal. So yun, ito yung essentials. So internet power connection, yes, no, missing and insufficient information, no, those that is also a challenge for us. Information and cybersecurity, I will also discuss it later. And then fake and fraudulent documents and record, this is really the hardest one. But just to remind everyone, no, fake and fraudulent document and records is also really apparent na even when we are already at site, no, physically there. So it's really hard for us to identify those documents. That's why, aside from seeing the document itself, we have to compensate it with other audit procedures, no. And then again, no physical audit procedures. On the next slide, no, some of our process owners really prefer face-to-face interaction, no. Some parang hindi talaga sila parang fan, no. Some of them are really not fan of like this, no. Parang web video call lang and everything. And then for lack of physical touch and yung parang it causes miscommunication, no. To if the auditor, for example, we are at an audit setup at the moment, no. Minsan kasi yung tone ng auditor, no, if the expression and the body language is not present, no, yung dating ng auditor would be like police, or like parang officer na mag-check ng right and wrong, no, dun sa so it's really hard to communicate that we are there to partner with them, no, not to police with them, no, because andito nga naka-fit lang ako sa isang maliit na window dito and you cannot really see my movements and my intentions, no. So yun, it's really hard, no. And then yun, unresponsive process owners and team members, no, we don't parang we don't blame them, no. There are really parang valid reasons why they are unresponsive, no, because we are not there at site. We cannot we do not know, no, kung ano yung nag-happen doon. Wala pala silang internet connection, or kaya they are suffering from blackouts, na power interruption. So we don't know, we don't really know. And especially our team members, no, because if our process owners can experience internet interruption or power interruption, so is our team members as well. So and then this one, no, it's we are very guilty of this all, no, tendency to multitask, no, causing loss of focus, no, lalo na kapag mga ganito video sessions, we tend to parang create another window and do our work, no, habang ano na lang, in a sense, nagiging music background na lang natin yung video meeting, no? We are all guilty of that, no? I as well. So, yun. And then, next is the competency concern. Nabanggit ko kanina, no? We are really pushed na to assign auditors that are really expert on that area na, no? Hindi yung parang roleta siya na, okay, padala kita dito, okay, padala kita sa ganyan. So, we really cannot do that because yung auditor na dapat naming isend dun sa site, he or she has to deal with all these challenges that I have presented. And pag hindi niya alam kung paano siya i-deal, for example, hindi niya alam kung paano maghanap ng parang alternative evidence dun sa mga missing information because he or she is not competent, so the audit or the remote audit will not be successful. So we cannot achieve our objectives. So the competency concern is also a challenge for us. Ayan. So how did we address, no, those concerns, no? I cannot say, no, ito rin yung parang applicable sa inyo, no, but I am just sharing you our journey, no, how we address these concerns. Ayan. So for the next slide, no, how did we address, no, yung internet and power interruption, no? So for our scenario, first would be yung auditor yung nag-experience ng internet or power interruption during a video meeting. For example, andun na tayo sa interview o kaya doon sa presentation na ng audit report. So what we do, yan yung first slide natin. We prepare an interview guide and a presentation guide, no? Interview guide during the interview session, the fieldwork session, and then the presentation guide would be our script, no, for our audit report presentation. Why? Because sometimes, no, yung auditor talaga in the middle of an explanation, bigla siyang makakat, no. I'm sure you also experience all of that, no. But for the audit team, no, we make sure that all of the team members know how to explain that issue, no. Hindi lang yung author hindi lang yung author ng audit findings yung may alam kung paano i-explain yung slide na yun. So everybody knows how to ask that interview question, knows why we are asking that interview question, and then on the presentation side, no, everybody knows how to explain the slide because once the presenter or the main speaker is cut off, no, kunwari may power interruption, nalobat yung laptop niya or naputol yung audit connection, another auditor can take over. So that's our parang ang tawag namin parang business continuity plan, no? Kasi yung business namin is rendering audit services. So that's how it is. And then next is the declaration of alternate presenter, no? Should the main presenter experience interruption, no, on power and internet. So with this one naman, syempre yung like for example, sino yung presenter natin? Si IASU support, no, na user. So aside from her or he or she, so meron pang isang alternate presenter so that if yung nagpe-present yung nawalan ng internet, another one can take over. And yun as well, no, alam niya kung paano niya i-explain yung certain issue kung saan naputol yung conversation or yung presentation. Yan. So how about if the process owners naman experience internet power interruption? So how did we deal with that? So ayun, again, no, as mentioned earlier, we go no, out of our boundaries to accommodate our process owners because they are our clients. So we employ alternative communication methods such as email, no, i-email na lang namin yung particular observations with them. By the way, for more context, no, our audit report is actually like this, no. We present it via a presentation material. So because again, no, 100% ng aming audit is conducted directly. So we cannot present a PDF document, no, tapos sila yung magbabasa diyan. So we cannot do that. So we do our audit reporting in a slide, no. So for example, one slide would be the one audit finding na with the next slide, the audit evidences, parang ganun. So with that, no, we can easily tag, no, the process owner, screenshot the slide itself, send the email and ask for their opinion. So kung kung hindi pa rin nila maintindihan sa email, so we will be calling them through phone, no, if they wanted us to explain the issues, no, on a parang on a not formal setup, no, talagang i-call namin sila, ito po yung nangyari, ganyan, we just wanted to know kung ano po yung ano nyo dito, opinion nyo dito or comments nyo dito, and if you accept this issue, if you acknowledge this issue, please give us a action plan, no, for this one, how do we address this one. So ganun siya. So very as I can say na parang very accommodating tayo in terms when it comes to the process owners, kasi we cannot blame them, no, on their difficulties, no, because aside from catering to our requirements, no, they still have to do their work. So we have to really go and accommodate them, no, kung ano yung preferred nila na communication method. So yun, so worst case scenario, we do phone calls, but for if unstable lang ang connection nila but internet is still doable, we communicate through emails and Google Chat, no. Yan. So on the next slide, we have information and cybersecurity na concerns. So why information and cybersecurity, no? Again, we are conducting our audit remotely in any other locations other than our offices, no. So meaning to say, we are discussing this parang during the audit, no, we are discussing a lot of confidential information, a lot of information, business information that should not be available in the public. And if you are conducting your audit in your house, for example, and you do not have a private area to conduct your work, so yung mga kamag-anak mo, yung mga kapatid mo, yung mga bisita, they can hear what you are talking about. And they can see, no, if there are presentations, they can see what you're talking about. And then some of us, no, because we are based in Manila, some of us are going at a coffee shop, no, kasi mas maganda daw yung internet doon kaysa sa home nila. And just imagine, no, yung risk, no, of the company information or the organization's information, no, being exposed to the public, no, wherein you as an auditor has the responsibility, no, to control the information and keep the information confidential, because that is your part, no, in your that is part of our code of ethics. So yun, so it's really it's really a risk for us. So that's why during the discussion, no, of confidential matters, no, we remind everyone, no, the internal auditor and the process owners itself, no, that we have to take caution, no, in discussing, no, the key points of our meeting or our interview session, no. So if we have to discuss confidential information, no, the process owner and the auditor should be responsible enough to control the data, no, or control yung surroundings, no, in your own workspaces, no. For example, you have to really really close the door or not accept people muna in your home, no, when you discuss this one. So I some of my na parang ang okay naman, no, but when you are in internal audit, you are really dealing with information na hindi available sa iba. So yun, so it's really scary na sa audit manggagaling yung cage, no, yung sapri, no, for us, no, and we are really responsible for that. And then some of this, no, yung mga participants natin, no, is using unsecured network, no, to connect to the internet. So as I mentioned earlier, meron talagang iba na pumupunta talaga sa mga restaurants or coffee shop because public connections are really unsecured, no. But luckily for us, no, for our company, so we have a strict internal policy, no, na we have to employ virtual private networks, no, or the VPNs, no, so that even if we connect in public places, somehow we still have a layer of security, no. But again, even after even when activating our VPNs, we are still not encouraged to access our core systems, no, when we are using that network, no, that unsecured network, no. So if nasa public place kami, we are only allowed to access our emails and stuff, no, but not our our core systems, no, because again, no, just imagine, no, mahack yung power plant. So the tapos may mga hospital na kailangan ng kuryente, and yung mga life-saving devices natin will be cut off, no. Just imagine how scary that would be. So that's why our responsibility is to protect yung network natin. So that's how big the impact is, no, kapag na-attack tayo, no, sa cybersecurity. And then again, no, ito very common, yung unrecorded, yung mga unauthorized na mga recording session, no, on the video meeting. So it's really simple, no. You just ask the process owners or the participants of the meeting if they allow recording of the session, no. So if they explicitly said, or parang explicitly expressed their permission for us to record, then there would be only one participants who will record the entire session, no. Hindi pwedeng lahat, no, merong secret record. So meron lang isa, no, and it's open to, and it's accessible to all participants, not those participants na hindi nag-attend. So yun, so that's how it is, and we explain those things, no, before we start our video session, video meeting. Yan, and then we remind them again after before we end, no, the meeting session. So that's the main controls that we have, no, in addressing yung information and cybersecurity na concerns. And then next we have missing or insufficient information. So for missing and insufficient information on the next slide, so we establish a document request protocol, no, discussing this to every process owners. Document request protocol for us is simply parang meron kaming KPI sa process owners na upon sending our official request for documents, you have around 3 days for you to give this document if this document is available electronically. But if it is not, no, we give them 5 days, no, kasi baka scan nyo lahat ng mga samples namin, ganyan. So we give them more time, no, if the document is not available and they still need to physically scan the document, so we give them more time. And then if those time periods, no, lapse na, so the document request protocol will activate. So on the first 3 days that it is not provided, no, we will conduct an email every day. We will send an email every day reminding them that these are the documents that were not provided, no. But if it lapse na on a 3-day overdue, hindi yung 3 days natin na original deadline. So 3 days overdue, hindi pa rin siya nagbigay ng documents, that's the time that we will escalate the request to their immediate heads, no. And then if 5 days na yung overdue, naglapse pa rin, we will escalate then again to the higher office. So that's how it is. And then if wala talaga yung document, hindi nagbibigay ng justification si process owner why he cannot give the document, so that's the time that we will be including that missing and insufficient information as part of our audit findings. So as you can see there, no, we also coordinate them, no, kasi minsan we will call the process owners, why can we provide this document electronically or not? So if they say na, ma'am, hindi talaga pwede kasi masyado siyang madami for us to scan, ganyan. So do you have any documents. So we ask them, no, those things, no, we execute our efforts, no, to ask them ano pa yung mga alternate information that we can use, no, as an audit team, and rely on that data to review our to assess our audit objectives. So yun, execute our audit objectives. So if intentionally hindi nila binigay yung documents, or if after all our efforts, no, communication efforts, they cannot give us a proper justification, so it will be written as part of our audit findings, no. But if those files naman, no, cannot be provided because of a valid reason, so that this will be also part of the audit report, but this is not an audit finding but a disclosure, no. Some of the audit team here, no, knows naman kung anong meaning ng disclosure. So this is neither a positive finding or a negative finding, but this is more on a informative statement, for informative statements na discussing kung ano yung context, no, on the things that happened during the audit. So not only a disclosure, no, but we are also including a complete analysis of the impact, no, nung missing information, no, in our audit results, no, because we cannot say na may missing information pero nagbigay pa rin tayo ng score sa kanila na compliant sila, when we have an audit area na hindi talaga natin na audit because wala tayong information on that. So we have to be transparent to our process owner na we cannot review this particular area because the documents that we have is insufficient. So the impact of this one is this. And then yun, and if you are not going to do anything about completing, no, the information of this one, these are the risks that might happen if we cannot review, no, yung mga process control areas na nandyan sa area na hindi natin na audit sa kanila because of missing information. Okay, so medyo complicated siya, but again, no, the key in dealing with missing information is for the audit team to be transparent, no, and accommodating again to the process owners, no, because if may impact siya sa report, we have to say na we cannot give an assurance na your process is working because we don't have this information. So yun, so we have to let the process owners understand na okay, so all others are okay, but except for this missing information, no, we are exposed to this kind of risk. So yun, dapat maintindihan nila yun. So yun yung responsibility natin as an auditor. So yun, for the next one, we have fraudulent documents and records. So for suspected fraudulent and documents, no, yung records natin, so we have to employ other methods, no, to verify records, no, may it be internal or external. So for internal, so what we can do is to find a supporting document, no, because for example, this is we are talking about a billing statement, no, and the billing statement is about a service rendered to the process owner. So for when we are looking for internal verification ng billing, so what do you think can we find, no, as an alternate supporting document if the billing really existed, no, or it is really valid? So we can ask, no, for any report, for example, to audit services, no, any parang report, no, or communication where manifesting na talagang nirender nung billing nung biller yung kanilang services, 'di ba? So that's how the internal verification works, no. And also you can ask for meeting invites, any manifestation of picture if they have no picture, no, nung nangyaring events or something. So we really have to exercise, no, our creative minds in thinking of any alternate methods to verify that particular document, no, if we are suspecting that this is fraudulent, no. For external verification, no, we call the owner of that information itself and ask, no, if this is really really existing, no? Especially if that document is a tawag dito, a billing document or a document that requires our organization to pay. Yun, so we have to really verify, those information. So yan, external and internal verification. But sometimes, enough na sa atin yung internal, we don't go na beyond the tawag dito, the bounds of our offices, to verify this one. So minsan enough na yung internal, as long as the evidence that we get is really convincing enough for us to say na this document is valid. Yun. So if confirmed naman, so we implement the fraud escalation procedure and commence the special fraud investigation. Why is this? Why do we do this? No, kasi we have the advantage. No, kasi as I said earlier, we are 17 in the team, so we have a lot of auditors. But in a best practice or industry setup, no, the audit team that is currently doing the audit should not be the audit team that will also do the fraud investigation. Kasi meron ka ng scope, no? As ikaw, as part of the original audit team, you already have your own scope, you already have your own audit objectives, and you cannot leave all of that just to investigate, no, yung fraud that is happening. So you have to escalate this audit observation to your immediate head, or the head of your internal audit, and he or she will be the ones to activate, no, yung fraud investigation procedure. May it be another set of auditors to conduct that fraud investigation, or he or she himself will conduct the fraud audit investigation. The key is you, as part of the internal audit team na nagkakandak nung current engagement at that site, will not be involved in that particular fraud investigation. No? So ikaw lang nagbigay ng information, ikaw lang nag-tip, but you cannot extend, no, yung scope mo and go out of your scope, no, to see or to prove na meron ng fraud na nangyari. So yun yung responsibility natin as an auditor. So next will be no physical audit procedure. So this one is really hard for us because as you know, no, we are involved in the energy sector, and there are a lot of safety and environmental compliance concern that we have. So if we say safety and environment, parang hindi ka mako-convince, no, na documents lang yung makikita mo, picture lang yung makikita mo. So you really have to go at site, no, and see, no, yung for yourself, see for yourself how the safety and the environmental compliance implementation goes. So what do we do, no, if yung audit namin really requires physical verification procedure? So if hindi naman kailangan, no, so we do away with that, no, but this particular slide, no, applies if hindi talaga natin ma-achieve yung objectives, if the auditor cannot verify, no, or cannot see, no, the site physically. So this is how we do it, no. A special arrangement with the process owners will be discussed, no, or will be agreed, no, by the two parties. So first, we will be deciding whether the verification is done through asynchronous or synchronous methods, no. I'm sure na you've heard of these two terms naman na. Yung synchronous would be yung exchange of information on real time, like this one, no, video call, it's live, it's real time, no. But asynchronous, it's not real time. Maybe I can say my requirements now, but you can submit it later. Yun, so yun yung asynchronous method. So the two parties have to decide, no, how to do that, and then we also have to decide which platform to use, no, in exchanging information. May it be Zoom, Messenger, Google Drive videos, uploading. Sometimes kasi hindi nila ma-upload yung mga videos na mahaba. So, hindi nila ma-send sa Messenger. So, we use Google Drive or YouTube no in uploading, but we have an official unlisted na YouTube na ano kasi again no yung ano tawag dito yung information and cybersecurity reasons no, but as much as possible we use Google Drive. Yan. So, and then, yun, after that, after agreeing with those things, no, the process owner or an independent on-site representative, so magdadamay kami ng third party dito, no, na independent siya, he is not part of the process owner, but he is at site. No, he or she is at site, no. He or she will conduct na the verification itself. Now, this happened to us during our QMS audits, no, where we have to go at a certain warehouse and verify the samples that we have. So we ask no for a audit representative to go at the warehouse. No, he or she is not part of the audit itself. No, yung process ng warehouse team, but she conducted the audit no for us. No. She conducted the remote the inventory count for us. And after that, no, the process owner and sorry, it's not or no, so and the site representative no shall sign no yung results ng physical verification no. And then the other way to do this no, itong last two bullet is that we do it ng inventory no, yung representative ng auditor has no yung mobile phone niya naka-on, naka-witness din si auditor no, parang ganun. So ganun siya, naka-video call din siya. So that's how we do it no, but we minimize doing this no, because again no, it really disrupts the process owners and we still have to involve another necessary we do this. Pero if not, well, most of the time it's not. So yan, we just do away with the physical audit procedure. Yan. So medyo mahaba ba? So ayun, next challenge would be the preference for face-to-face interaction on the next slide and the lack of physical touch which causes miscommunication. So for this one, no, the audit team extends efforts by making the discussions more interesting and interactive. No, how do we do that? So we use infographics and data visualization and engage the process owner. So as you can see, no, on how I do my slide, we use a lot of colors, we use a lot of diagrams, no, so that the process owner can see no at the onset na okay, ito pala yung pinag-uusapan, like that no, because ayun no, the attention span of every person no, even the auditors itself no, is really that short no, and you have as an audit team no, you have to create more ways for the session to become interactive. There's no problem no if yung session nyo is interview session no, walkthrough session, kasi talagang may exchange ng information by the process owner and the auditor. But what if you are presenting already a report? So minsan yung mga process owner, pag hindi naman sila yung responsible dun sa issue, yung kasama nila yung responsible, hindi sila makikinig. But we as the auditor, we wanted them to hear because the action plans that is needed for that particular audit findings must be implemented by the entire department. So kung isa lang yung nakikinig, yung mismong may finding lang yung makikinig, so how can she invoke action no to the rest of the department? So yun, so we have to really engage our process owners and really sometimes we really call some of the audit team members and ask no, what do you think of this one? Do you have any additional inputs? Just to check on them no, if nakikinig ba sila or not. But you know, we have to really do that because again no, when we present an audit report, we have to invoke action with them, no? We cannot just stop at report writing, report presentation and do nothing, no? Not ask if they understood the report or not. So yeah, we have to do those things. And if we have to change how we present our report, if we have to parang create a graphics, no, para maging attractive lang yung report, we do that. Because again, this is our effort, no, as the audit team, and our responsibility as the audit team, no, to really communicate our results effectively, no, to our process owners. For the lack of physical touch, no, we have a camera on policy at the start of the meeting. So for example, no, kakapasok pa lang, everybody should have their camera on, no. Sorry. Okay. Sorry for the background noise. Ayan. So, yun. Where am I again? Ayun. So, camera on policy. So, we do that, no? And just to, syempre, lalo na pag first time namin ka-interact yung process owner, the auditors will have to really liven up, no, the meeting room, and really engage with the process owners. How are you? Where are you based? No? Where are you working? Ano yung work setup nyo? Ganyan. So, we have to do those things as well. And then, again, no, yung correct tone of speaking and presentation. Yung articulation natin ng points natin when it comes to presentation. That's why we use, it's really corny for us, no, but ayun, it's really, it might sound corny and yung parang tedious ba na gumagawa pa kami ng script, no, yung presentation guide, no, but it pays a lot, no, because yung mga points na we wanted to emphasize to the process owners is really communicated by anyone in the team, no, if there are any interruptions, no? We can communicate our concerns. And then if meron silang possible rebuttal, nasabi na sulat na namin yun dun sa script namin, no, na pagkahaba-haba, no, each slide may script, no. But we do that effort because we want our remote audit to be successful. So that's the bottom line. We want our audit, the audit to be successful. We want our communication to be really well and effective. That's why we do all those corny things. We do all those tedious things, no, just for the meeting to be successful, to be our session to be successful. So that's how we do that one. And then on the next slide, now we have unresponsive process owners and team members, as well as the tendency to multitask, no. For unresponsive process owners, so again, no, paulit-ulit na ako, no, we engage different methods of communication and then escalate those concerns to their immediate superior, no. So sometimes kasi during pandemic we encountered din, no, a lot of process owners na at the start of the engagement, no, sila yung inassign, and then biglang magma-maternity leave pala, hindi namin alam. So yun, so we have to find more people to ask, no, kung sino pa yung alternate people na we can coordinate with, no, just for our audit engagement to be finished, no. So yun. And then escalation to immediate superior is really necessary if hindi na sila responsive or parang sinasadya na nilang hindi mag-reply sa atin. So merong ganon. It's very difficult for us to parang to stay pa rin professional and stay where we stand, no, that we are partners of the process owners and we are really not policing. So yun, meron pa rin talagang ganun, even if we act, hindi naman act, but we really genuinely come to them, no, as partners, no, not police. Meron pa rin talagang ganun. For some reasons, no, we understand the process owners kasi talagang we cannot understand their side because they are really doing core responsibilities, no, as a part, unlike us now, we just go to the site and ask them a lot of questions and a lot of documents and records. So we have to be extra patient with our process owners and understand kung ano talaga yung nangyayari dun sa site nila. So if really not, so we have to communicate it with the immediate supervisors. And if kaya nilang i-address yung concern, that's really better, no? But if not, we have to disclose it in our audit report. And again, no, we have to explain them the impact of those types of those missing information or those situations where they were unresponsive and how it distorted our audit results, no? Yun kasi yun, paano niya na-distort yung result natin na non-compliant siya kasi hindi lang nagbigay si process owner ng document. So we cannot say that. So we have to really explain to them, no? Ano yung impact ng document or yung interaction na nawala, no? Paano niya na-distort yung ating assessment. So we have to explain. So for unresponsive team members naman, again, no, if there is a downside on the increase of our efficiency, you know, as an audit team, no, kasi mas marami kaming engagement na nagagawa and mas prone din yung burnout, yung employee burnout. So that's why we usually conduct sanity checks, no, with our team members. We call it C2E, communicate to engage, no. So we call that C2E. Our leaders, they themselves reach out to the team members and conduct just a 30-minute kamustahan, no, not related to the engagement, the audit engagement itself or the trabaho itself, no, but just purely checking, no, how is their mental health, ano yung nangyayari sa family life mo, do you wanted to share? So we do that, no, because we recognize, no, that there is really this high tendency for the auditors or the employees, no. Actually this is an entire initiative by our organization, no, na prone talaga sa mental health issues, no, yung mga naka-work from home because the physical interaction nga is not there, no. So yun, so we do that sanity checks, no, regularly, no. So yun, so that's how we address, no, yung unresponsive team members. And then tendency to multitask and causing the loss of focus. So we schedule shorter and dynamic meetings, no, and at the maximum we only schedule 1 hour. And alongside with that, we invite the process owners that are only essential to the meeting, no. So for example, we are paano natin masasabi na shorter and dynamic yung meeting, no. So understand that we are a big organization. So for example, we are auditing again SCM and we wanted to ask lang about the PR creation process. So we only invite not the entire SCM team, no, na yung mga in charge sa vendor accreditation, yung in charge sa delivery and receipt, yung in charge sa warehouse keeping. So we do not invite them, no. We only invite those who are responsible for the PR to PO creation. So that's how we do our short meetings, no, dynamic meetings. And then all the others, no, if they wanted to join, yes, no, but we see to it na all of yung mga main participants natin knows that this is the topic that we will have to discuss, no, during this session. So usually it's just a 30-minute or 45-minute session and we budget that meeting well. Kasi again, we have to be a good steward of our time, our process owner's time. So that's why yun, we have to manage yung interruption natin with them, no, yung interaction, sorry, yung interaction natin with them, and we have to manage, no, yung time span na i-disrupt natin sila. So that's how we do that, no. So hindi namin i-invite yung entire department and i-invite na lang namin sila if it's the audit presentation na, no. So because they have to really listen to the issues. But if it's just parang fieldwork interview, no, so we only invite necessary people. Ayan. So and if we have series of debriefings pala, no, for everyone's context, no. Hindi after ng fieldwork is formal report writing na. So we have these informal sessions called debriefing. So during those debriefing, we give time to the process owner or those main participants na naka-interact namin, no, and discuss them yung mga findings naming nagawa. Why? Because we wanted them to be the first people to know kung ano yung mga findings namin na nakita doon sa areas kung saan sila responsible before we discuss them to the immediate heads. Because we wanted to give them the chance to clarify the concern or to clear out the concern na maybe this is really not an audit finding, meron palang supporting documents na mabibigay sila for us to clear the findings. So yun, we give them that venue and that opportunity so that pagdating sa formal report presentation, no, their bosses will not parang go crazy and magalit sa kanila because bakit may ganito? I thought mo lang ganito. So yun. So we manage that, no? So yun, meron kaming debriefing session, giving time to those we call them SME, no, subject matter experts, no, or the point persons, no, to know the issues first and to give them time and opportunity na to to submit more evidence, no, para hindi nila para masabi talaga na findings to or not. And what will be presented on the formal audit report session will be those na acknowledge na nila na hindi, findings talaga to. Ito talaga yung dapat namin ayusin. So yun, that's how we organize things, no. So yun siya. That's the beauty of conducting a debriefing, no, prior to really transitioning to audit report writing. Ayun, so okay pa ba ang lahat? So we've now moved to the last, no, yung competency concerns. So again, no, the challenge here is that if the auditors that we will be sending, no, does not know how to think or be creative enough to address the concerns, especially the suspected fraudulent records and also the missing information and unresponsive process owner. If hindi siya marunong talaga mag-discarte how to do that, no, it's really a problem, no, because again, no, you only as an auditor, you can only rely on the information that is given by the process owner to you. So if you do not have any discarding on how their information, no, it's really jeopardizing, no, yung success ng ating remote audit setup. That's why to address the competency concern, no, especially in evidence gathering part, no, so we subscribe, no, with LinkedIn Learning na module. If you've heard of LinkedIn Learning, so hindi lang mga technical or mga parang academic subjects yung mga nandun. There are a lot of trainings there about soft skills, communication skills, and even how to manage, no, yung parang project management skills, no. There are a lot of videos there that can help our auditors, no, parang deal with the challenges of remote auditing. So even the yung how do you call this, even yung how we conducted our remote auditing, most of our resources were gathered in LinkedIn Learning, no. So medyo may cost nga lang, pero it really helped us, no, enabled us to conduct our work from home setup really well. And then in-house training as well. So the organization that I am in, no, really recognize na kailangan talaga yung training not only for the auditors, no, but for the entire organization. Kailangan talaga yung training on how to conduct remote work itself. That's why meron sila mga in-organize na 1 hour parang webinar like this, no. I'm really glad, no, that municipality of Odiongan recognizes concern as well, no, yung lack of competency and training, and conducts this kind of sessions, no, to address those competency gaps to the assigned auditor so that he or she can be trained na to do the next na audit engagement, no, by himself or by herself. So she can do na, or she can be more confident na to conduct the remote audit on her own, or with a small team pa rin, pero at least at her own responsible area or assigned area, he can already do yung kung paano niya gagawin yung audit procedures niya. And then assess whether or she, this is more important, no? Assess whether he or she can be assigned on another engagement. Because what if he or she is really not competent, no? For example, we assign her to business continuity, but her expertise lines parang aligns more on ano on finance side. So, 'di ba medyo malayo. So if we cannot address yung gap, no, yung competency or yung learning, we have to really decide if itutuloy pa ba natin siyang i-assign sa business continuity kung ang expertise niya naman is finance. So we have to ano that, no. But again, no, not all departments or not all internal audit functions have the privilege to do this. But if you have, no, if you have the resources or ano, no, or parang opportunity to do that, no, might as well implement this one, no. So especially yung mga online trainings, no. LinkedIn is a paid platform, no, but we have more sessions, platforms, no, na ano talaga na wherein we can find materials and learning webinars, no, that are free, no, and send our ano dun, our audit teams there, no, to learn yun. So yun lang. Ayun. So for our next part, so wait, before we move to the next part, so what other concerns or challenges pa yung naiisip nyo after hearing these things, no? Do you have any more parang questions or challenges, no, scenarios that you think that you might encounter, no, in doing your remote audit? Do you have any other things na to parang that bothers you aside from these 10? Meron ba or wala? So that we can talk about it then. Baka mamaya na encounter na rin namin yan, no, but yun, nag-choose lang ako ng Big 10. IT infrastructure, okay. So you mean to say yung network? Yes, okay. So the network itself. So for the network naman, for us, no, we do kasi our, yun, so hindi pala, no. So again, no, our first control is actually VPN, no, because our IT, no, again, we are a big company, so I don't know how to ano, parang how to think of any other alternative for that, no, for that one, no. But in terms of our day-to-day processes, no, we use kasi not Microsoft Office but Google tools, no. Later on, I will present later on yung kung ano yung mga tools na ginagamit namin. And with that, no, it enables us to work both remotely and offline. So because may function kasi siya na ganun, may functionality siya na ganun. So for the IT infrastructure, if you are thinking of yung internet connection or yung mga VPN concerns, no. So apart from VPN, we really have to just parang employ yung mga old ways natin on how to keep our data, no, secure. Like yun nga, not joining a public Wi-Fi, no, or using our data na lang instead of the Wi-Fi to and not using as well yung mga personal laptops natin or gadgets, no. As much as possible, we use the company issued one. And then ano pa ba, IT infrastructure, if you are thinking about, madami kasi IT infrastructure, no. If you are thinking about the hardware and tools, no, I believe that this has to be escalated to the organization itself, no, yung the higher offices, no, and really have to reassess if you have the direction to become digitalized, no. So you have to, not only the audit team but the entire organization have to think how to transition to that one, no. Not only the audit team, no, is doing the effort na we want to remote audit, we want to work from home setup, but the rest of the organization does not want it. So we have to align again the auditors, yung ano ko last presentation is that the auditors had to align to the organization's objectives, no, and strategy. If it's not aligned, we cannot really parang push them to do that, no, yun. So pero later on we can discuss, no, kung meron pang ano sa IT infrastructure. So yun, but for now we can discuss, no, kung ano yung mga enablers, no, for remote audit. So I call that enablers because in our company these are the things, no, that is already present in our organization that enabled our transition to remote auditing very smooth and very, fast, no. That's why we only took 2 weeks, no, to execute those things. So we have here three large umbrellas. We have the organizational governance. Then we have the hardware and tools, hardware and software. Some call this ICT, or the information, communication, and technology. Yan na umbrella. And then we have the digitalization of our organization. So let's talk about governance muna on the next slide. So on the governance, no, I've just included here 3 important elements. First is the structure. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, no. If the top management tone at the top, o yung parang their strategy is to enable the audit team, no, is to enable, no, the entire organization to become work from home ready, no, yung telecommunication ready. So it also enables the audit team to freely carry out the engagement, no, without or minimum lang na resistance. So because of that, because of the top management's directive, no, it enables the audit team to also implement remote auditing as well. So without top management support, we cannot do it. We cannot be successful in remote auditing, no. Kasi if the leaders itself cannot see the value of conducting remote work in general, no, not only auditing, but we're talking about remote work, no, if they cannot see the value in that, no, we cannot convince them to do remote auditing as well, because they do not believe in work from home setup. They do not believe in remote work. So yeah, it's really the first one would be really our leaders, no, to do that. And the next one would be our culture, no. If we have our leaders, we have our team members as well, no, to ride with this journey, no, in preparing our entire organization in a remote work setup. So again, the owner's acknowledgement then on the role of internal audit is very important, no, because it facilitates yung collaborative interaction, no. So for this one kasi if the process owners really don't see us as partners, istorbo on their work, so it's really hard for the internal audit team to conduct remote audit setup. No, I'm not saying na we cannot conduct, no, but it's really more difficult for us because the culture, we have to also we have to deal with the culture difference then, no, with this one. So culture is really important, no. So again, you can view this, no, yung mga discussion points ko as something you can think as your list, no, if your organization or your office is already has already this one present, then maybe you can do remote work as an office then, no. So yun, it can be a checklist for you, no, do listening, no. And then we have also work from home policies and procedures. I can say that this is the luckiest move that our organization did, no, because even after pandemic, actually the remote work for the other nagkaroon ng taal. If you remember yung taal eruption, ayan, so most of our facilities is located in the area near Taal. So and naapektuhan din tayo, no, sa Metro Manila. Me in Metro Manila. So mayroon ding work stoppage na nangyari doon. And the organization parang na if we are not ready for these kinds of disasters, no, where it really issued us a work stoppage na directive, how can we do our work? And we also understand our position, no, as a business in the community, no, because many institutions rely on the power that we provide, no, especially nga yung kawawa talaga yung mga hospitals, no, kasi yung mga life-saving equipment nila, ayun, just imagine, no, how many lives will be jeopardized, no, kapag hindi nakatakbo yung mga power plants natin. So yun, so the organization already saw the importance of having a remote work setup ready organization. That's why we are really lucky na we prepared our organization that early, no, prior to the pandemic coming in. So we actually have parang 3 months to prepare, no? But fast track talaga, everybody fast track. And yun, although kami mga auditors natin, hindi pa namin nakikita kasi hindi pa namin nakikita that time kasi ang mga in-engage lang that time is yung core process nga. But because of their initiatives, no, we are really lucky. I can tell you we are really lucky, no, yung internal audit team namin talaga napakaswerte. Yan. And because of the efforts of the core team, no, yung core team namin yun nga yung mga power plant, the work from home policies and procedures were already written prior to the pandemic coming in. That's why when the pandemic came in, na-activate lahat tong mga policies and procedures na to, and nagulat na lang kami. We are ready for remote work, no? So yun. So it's really parang it's really this first element, no, yung organizational governance, no. If the leaders do not see these kinds of risk in the future, no, the entire organization and even the audit team cannot really function well if they did not foresee you need to have a work from home setup ready, no, for everyone. Yun. So that's how it is, no, that's how the organizational governance, no, works as an enabler for remote auditing. For the next one, we have hardware software tools. So on the next slide, so these are the hardwares that the essential tools that we have. So we have our laptops, yan. So yun, hindi kami naka-desktop, no. So isa yun sa mga how do you call this? Isa yun sa mga, again, no, fortunate setup namin, no, because at the onset pa lang, even if hindi nag-happen yung Taal eruption, naka-laptop na talaga lahat, no, at the onset. And then for the earphones, ang minimum lang namin na requirement is with microphone, no. Pero if may noise cancelling siya, better, no. But yun, hindi naman, kahit yung mga normal na earphones lang na ganito, okay lang naman. And then for our internet connection, ito medyo strict kami dito. So we have 25 Mbps and above. But for Metro Manila kasi, kaya pa naman no 10 Mbps ganyan. But the reason why we set 25 Mbps is kasi yung mga nasa talaga, yung mga nasa remote areas, no, they cannot work with 10 Mbps lang na internet connection. And sometimes hindi sila yung traditional na internet connection, no. Meron talagang line sila na nakikiconnect pa sila sa other facilities, no, just to have an internet connection, lalo na yung sa kabundukan, ganyan. So yan, so internet connection is really prepared na for them, no. Sa mga areas namin without any internet connection, meron silang other setup, but I cannot parang share it to you, no, because sa kanilang setup yun. So on confidentiality, so yun. But there is a way to address, no, yung mga lack of, yung mga talagang wala talaga silang internet connection. But yun. And then work from home setup and support, no. Yung mga internet subscription namin before was subsidized, but ngayon hindi na, noon lang nung kailangan, nung mga panahon na kailangan pa ng ayuda. So yun. But after some time, no, nawala na rin siya. But in any case, no, this shows that the organization supported us, no, in doing our remote audit. And then yung mga ergonomic chairs, no, because the organization wanted na na yung mga employees nila will be encouraged, no, to do their work productively in the office. They allow naman yung mga especially yung mga nandito sa Metro Manila and our other cities, no, na where we have our base, no, to borrow the ergonomic chair. Yan. So, and then ayun, we also encourage, no, yung mga other work from home setup benefits din, no. So like for example, may mga pa games kami diyan, may mga email blast kami, and then may magse-send na lang ng Grab, GCash, ganun. So medyo so medyo mahaba yung efforts namin ng pag-encourage talaga sa entire organization na maganda yung work from home setup. But it really pays well. And then for the next slide, these are our tools, no? Our organization does not really use Microsoft Office na. We use Google Suites now, as you can see there on the big rectangle box. Why? Because um, uh, first, it allows real-time and online collaboration, no? So, for example, yung isang Excel sheet, you can, you can parang na siya, you can just open the Excel sheet and everybody can edit, no? Everybody can work on that same file at the same time. So yun, it's really very efficient for us. And even our presentation materials, no, it's created on Google Slide, except for this one, this is created on Canva. Ayun. And then our activities, no, for example, yung mga activities sa mga process owners namin, because we use the Google Calendar to organize Google Meets and Google Calendars to organize our meeting, we can see how busy they are. We can see their schedules and everything. So really, it really enabled us, no, to organize our audit well, no. If the process owner is parang out of office siya or nasa on-site siya, makikita namin siya sa Google Calendar because everybody is required to declare their activities on the Google Calendar. And even if may mga meeting na organized, no, makikita namin if they are involved in another meeting. So even in the Google Chat, so if na-use nyo na yung Google Chat, no, now it's really din, parang it's really user friendly din, no, because if halimbawa I click on Ivan as yung gusto ko siyang kausapin on Google Chat, and yung status ni Ivan will show na nasa meeting siya or will show na nasa on-site siya. So ganun. So it's very convenient for us to manage, no, our communication well and to come to the process owners, no, uh, at the best time, no, or the best available time natin. So yun. So that's why cycle. So yun, it's very perfect for our organization, you know, how we do things. And then on the next slide, no, yung katabi ng Google slide, we have this Monday.com, Google Data Studio, Power BI of Microsoft, and the AppSheet. These are the dashboard tools that we have, no, used as an organization, no, hindi lang as an auditor, as an organization, no. So, because we do not, parang yung Monday.com kasi is a monitoring of productivity site. So, some of those features are or we can see the statuses there of their projects, no? Kasi we look into project dashboards, KPI dashboard. So most of our audit clients use Monday.com or even do Google Data Studio, no, to present their KPIs. So hindi na kami nanghihingi ng parang talaga form data, and we can also extract those data, no. So yun, kaya rin namin siya i-manipulate as long as doon nila nilagay yung data, no. But for the others, yung Power BI, I think you need more expertise, no, to do this, no. I think may sila dito, but as an auditor, no, they just give us the access and the screenshots, no, for their dashboards. And then for the app sheet, this is used naman by our remote this is a paid site din ata, a paid web-based application. What is good with AppSheet is that our engineers no can use their phones, no, and send yung mga parang they can fill out yung mga forms nila through the app sheet kahit na anywhere na sila in the Philippines or yun basta as long as they are connected in the app sheet, yung forms nila is connected in the app sheet. So kahit phone lang yung gamitin nila to for example create an incident report, they can do that in the app sheet. So yun yung tools na ginagamit nila. And then for our meeting, so YouTube is used for yun nga yung mga unlisted meetings namin wherein we have to do a live stream. So yun. Pero for audit hindi siya masyado talagang nai-use, but for audit we use aside from Google Meet, we have Microsoft Teams meetings at saka ito Zoom. And then for our how do you call this trainings, no, hindi na kami pumupunta sa mga seminar talaga ng face to face, but we use LinkedIn Learning, Gartner Learning also, and Google Sites. Why Google Sites? Yung mga I mentioned earlier that our organization conducts webinar like this. After that they will create a Google site and then post the links there dun sa mga hindi naka-attend dun sa meeting. So they will post the links there and everyone with the link, everyone who can access the Google site can also access the library of the trainings that we conducted whatever kung sino man yung host, may it be IT. Sometimes IT will conduct a cybersecurity awareness session. Sometimes the safety team will conduct a mandatory OSH session. So doon nakikita doon lahat, pinapost nila doon lahat so that everybody can learn, even those who are not available at that moment. So yan, that's all the tools. That's most of the tools that we need apart from our systems that we use. But before we move to the systems we can discuss first what is digitalization and digitization on the next slide because our third enabler is actually the digitalization of our organization. So what is digitization? Simply putting digitization, it is actually just converting analog information into digital form. So the mere act of scanning a document, for example, an sales invoice document is actually an act of digitization. Sorry for medyo mahirap siya ibigkas. Digitization. So yun, basta i-convert lang natin yung analog or yung parang manual forms natin into something that is digital or electronic, we are already moving into digitization. Okay? But digitalization, as you can see in the icon, it's really different because we have to use several technologies, digital technologies, to change our business model and provide revenue and value producing opportunities. So again, what happened to our organization? It's not just digitization that happened, it's digitalization because yun nga ang naging trigger na nga namin is yung Taal eruption and we saw na if hindi ready yung mga technologies namin, if hindi namin makita yung kung ano yung nangyayari sa planta, walang mangyayari. Hindi namin mapoprovide yung services namin. So that's why we changed our business model talaga into something more digital other than just scanning the forms and everything. So yun yung nangyari talagang it's a organization-wide effort. So that's why on the next slide, it's part of the elements then that enabled us to become ready for remote auditing. So the first element would be our enterprise resource planning system. So have you heard of SAP and Oracle, Maximo? So those are the systems that we use in our company and they are fully maximized. Meron kasing instances na for example sa Oracle, part lang ng process natin yung ginagamit natin doon. Everybody is guilty with that, even us before. So dun sa Oracle procurement to PR module, ginagamit lang namin yung PR. For example, this is a hypothetical scenario. Ginagamit lang namin yung PR po yung PR module po sa pag-create lang ng PR. Pero the rest po is manual na. So yun, so pag-print lang pala ng PR yung paggamit nila sa ERP. So we cannot do remote from a remote work audit setup, no, if that's the case. So that's why we maximize the entire system. Talagang ginamit, we have to use the functionalities of the system, no, kasi sayang naman, we pay for those systems but we do not realize the value of those systems. So we have to really learn how to do the system. Meron na pala doon, kaya na palang gawin nila yung mga dashboard and mga KPIs. Hindi na pala natin pwedeng, hindi na pala natin need na mag-monday.com pa to create our dashboards, di ba? So yun, marami kaming na-realize no as an organization when we acted to maximize no yung mga existing systems na namin, take note, existing systems. Hindi kami nag-employ ng other systems pa, no? Because during the pandemic, it's really hard, no? Because everyone is, mayroon nga kaming sinabi doon na protect the goose, no? Kasi yung pinaka-protektahan namin, yung nag-aano talaga, yung nagka-create ng income for us. Yan, kasi of course, the business, no? And yung all others na mga expenses, no, if kailangan alisin, inaalis talaga. So yun yung naging result nitong move na to. And then documents and records management. So management of files that we have for the records and documents are both done electronically and physically. So we are glad that during our time, no, before even those triggers happened, na nagmo-move na kami to digitization. So yung kanina yung digitization. So if you already have 1 and 2, you can already start your move to remote auditing. I'm not saying na kailangan nyo pang mag-digitalize, no, mag-digitalize before you can set up your remote audit work, no. If 1 and 2 is already there, you can already start. You can already move, no, to the next step. But for us, no, what makes us digitalize is the third item, no, yung Internet of Things. If some of you have already heard this term, no, IoT. So this is this is a group of devices, no, or mechanical digital machines na interconnected with each other and they move for a certain purpose. Basic application of that. Sino aware sa inyo ng yung mga Fitbit, mga Apple Watch, tsaka mga Huawei smartwatch. Sino mga nakaano diyan? So yun, if yes na ano kayo, di ba? So it's a simple application of IoT. Why? Because when you wear an Apple Watch, so wala akong ganun. So when you wear an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, no, yung mga health monitoring watches natin, they are connected to a certain app on your phone, right? And they are tracking your health, no, kung ilan yung steps na nakuha mo, ilan yung calories na na-burn mo, ano yung BP rate mo, so nakukuha nila lahat. So so yung phone and yung watch mo, so it's interconnected with each other and it moves at a certain function. So that is already a simple application of Internet of Things, no. And then some, no, yung mga nasa smart home, no, yung they can on their yung parang aircon nila through their phones. They can lock their entire homes, no, with just a click of the phone. So yun, another household application of Internet of Things. No, but for our department, for our organization, no, Internet of Things is not yet fully implemented, but it is already started, no. When I said earlier yung app sheet, no, so just imagine, no, yung mga field auditor, yung mga field engineers namin nasa labas, no, may mga naputol na linya on the barangays there. For example, may nasirang street lights and they have to go there. So how can they send the information to us? So they use the app sheet, no, to send the information and report. So yun yung nun. And then request for materials and everything so that they can be delivered at the site. So that's how we implement Internet of Things on a simple way, no. But again, no, our vision is to become talaga a conglomerate, no. So yun, kaya medyo andito pa lang kami sa start andito pa lang kami sa first stages ng digitalization. But again, no, if you are already digitized, you can start remote auditing, you can start remote from home, remote work setup. Yan. So not only remote auditing. Yan. So that's only the elements, no, that enables us, no, to do remote auditing. Okay, so how do we initiate remote auditing? We have here the next slide. So for the next slide, no, again, walang nag-iba sa kung paano natin gawin, no, yung ating traditional auditing as to remote auditing. But what really differs, no, yung remote auditing is yung initiation stage, no. Why? Because not all audit engagement can be done remotely. We have to accept that, no, na hindi lahat ng audit engagement. When I said 100% earlier, those are just the audits that past, no, this stage, no, itong remote audit initiation stage. Because on the first element that we have, the first step that we have is to determine whether the audit itself is feasible to be conducted remotely. So during the first step, no, we conduct a remote audit feasibility study. Again, no, some corny or tedious work for the auditors, no, but it really pays a lot. So yun, sending out remote audit feasibility survey or checklist for the to know the possible barriers and other problems, no, that can be encountered during the remote audit. And then the result of this one will be the basis of the decision whether that particular engagement can be done remotely or we have to just postpone it until it is allowed for us to do a on-site audit. So yun yung purpose ng remote audit feasibility. And then after the remote audit feasibility study, we will conduct a remote audit risk assessment. So if we decide to proceed, no, with the remote audit and deal with the challenges and barriers that were identified during the feasibility study, so we have to conduct a risk management session. So this is the analyzation, no, nung parang yung ginawa natin kanina dun sa challenges, no. We think of all the scenarios that we have and we think of the action plans on how to deal with it. So that's what we do on the risk management stage. And then next would be the remote audit strategy development. So it's not different with how we craft our audit work program. No? It's just that our strategy will be leaned towards remote auditing, no, not on-site auditing. So on the next slide, I will show you how the remote audit feasibility study looks like. So medyo ba siya? Medyo malabo ba siya? But sige, let's drill down. So first is the confidentiality, security, and data protection, no? So as you can see here, ang ina-address niya na challenge, it's the information and cybersecurity element. Okay, so we have a checklist here and see if both the audit team and the process owners have the capability to protect, no, our information and security, the information in our infrastructure. So yan, so chine-check namin yan. Meron ba? Kaya ba ng audit team? Yes. Sa process owner side, kaya ba? Yes. Okay, so that's good, no? Pero if hindi kaya, so we put a remarks and we put a remark and discuss, no, deliberate with the audit team how we can address this. No, so hindi agad siya na parang no, okay, stop na. Okay. And then next natin is use of ICT. Again, this is one of our enablers to conduct remote audit. So we check if there is a good quality of connection itself, no, because yun, kailangan din siya power. And again, no, we check both sides, no, not only our side but the process owner's side, no, on those things, no. And then yan yung mga chine-check namin on the ICT.
yung access for the related documents, including yung software databases, no, and if it is possible na ma-authenticate namin and identify namin yung identity ng mga people, no. Pero ito kasi kapag first time engagement lang to, or yung hindi na talaga kayo mga process owners. And then, of course, this is subject to data privacy concerns, no. So we are still, no, following all of this, no, without doing parang without not violating, yan, that's the word, violating our data privacy and internal policy requirements. Yun. And then yun, yung mga facilities natin and activities na if they are present, no, at site, and they can achieve the audit engagement objectives that we have. So that's what we check in the ICT side. And the people, again, no, the people and operations, as you can see there, the element that we are checking in that case is the organizational governance, wherein is the people ready, no? Is the culture ready? Check for the audit team, check for the process owners. If no, it's not necessarily a stop indicator for us, but if we cannot really do anything, then we have to deliberate. And then if the organization is operating regularly, we have to know the extent nung nung remote from home setup nila. How many on a scale of 1 to, for example, on a scale of 1 to 10, parang how close are you to doing remote audit, no? Yung entire work work assignment mo. So may mga ganun kaming So on the next slide, then ayan, on the next slide, we are also analyzing, no, kung gaano ka-complex yung, again, no, yung structure ng organization and the audit type that we are engaging with. So we have to understand that, no, for both the audit team and the process owners. Again, no, if yes or no ang answer dito, we have to deliberate then. And then for the conclusions, we have 3 possible conclusions. First is that the audit objectives can be fully achieved by remote audit. So if that's the case, we have to proceed with the remote audit. But if the audit objectives, no, are achieved partially, so we can do the remote audit then partially, and then we can conduct a follow-up on-site audit, no, right after. So yun yung isa sa mga decisions. And if ma-achieve naman yung majority ng ating audit objectives. Pero if not, if totally hindi natin kaya, so we do not proceed with the remote audit. So that's why it's called remote audit feasibility study, no? So these are the decisions that we have to make. And then on the next slide, no, the other questions that we ask, no, with the process owners, no. First, yung type ng internet connection nila na ni-utilize nila for work. These are our actual verbatim na mga questions talaga sa kanila. So, nagpe-prepaid data ba sila? Naka-wireless broadband sila? So, we take that into consideration din. Again, very corny and parang tedious sounding, no? But if we really want to implement remote audit, if we really want to make this successful, we have to do these things. No, so yung next one is, have you experienced any internet connection problems? Yan, so we have to already profile, no, which of our auditors and our auditees, process owners, are parang have the tendency to disappear at the middle of our audit session. So yun, tinitignan din namin yan, and we developed strategies for them, no. Paano namin kakausapin si ganito, medyo hindi stable yung internet connection niya as nung sinagutan niya yung survey. So yan, so we craft our individual strategies for them. And then the third one would be if there are certain areas, no, in their department that is not feasible to be audited remotely. So si process owner kasi yung nakakaalam if they can, if the process itself can be audited remotely or not, because they own the process, di ba? So yun, they can already prompt us na dito mukhang alanganin, Jackie, mukhang alanganin dito naman, check nyo to kasi 100% talaga analog pa kami dito. So you have to go at site. So mga ganun. So during this stage pa lang, malalaman nyo na, no? Malalaman nyo na kung ano yung mga problems and challenges that you will be facing, no, if you proceed to remote audit strategy. So with that, no, after the feasibility study, we have the next one would be remote audit risk assessment. So again, no, yung kanina, after gathering all the results, no, of the feasibility study and the surveys that we attended, so we will plot those risks or challenges and assess, no, if we can do something about it. So as you can see here, medyo maliit lang siya, but sorry, yung conduct or delay of audit activities, no, we have risk actions that we will take, no, to address those concerns. We have data loss, data integrity, and non-verification of documents, but marami yan, mahaba yan. So yan, we list those things and assess and think about excuse me, assess and think about the risk actions that we will be taking for that purpose. So yeah, we will provide naman this, Ivan, no, to them. So you can freely provide this, para makita nila. Medyo maliit kasi, I apologize na medyo maliit pala siya tingnan. So you can view that document na lang, no, offline and see, no, kung ano yung mga strategies na in-employ namin, no. Yan, para may benchmark din kayo. And then for the next slide, no, as I have discussed earlier, no, yung methods of information gathering that we have, no, synchronous and asynchronous, you have already heard of this term ever since yung work from home setup is implemented, no, to almost all institutions, even in education. So synchronous is the real-time exchange for information. Then asynchronous will be yung mga delayed or yung mga hindi talaga siya real-time exchange. For example, email, yan. So email exchanges, yan. Tapos yung mga pag-upload ng mga documents, yan. So yan, asynchronous yung lahat. On the next methods that we that we have. So this is just a list of the sample methods or parang possible methods that we employed, no, during our preparation stage. Now, as you can see here, sa video call sa video pa lang, pwede na siyang asynchronous, pwede na siyang synchronous, no. For example, synchronous live stream, no, or yung video call talaga na nandun ka sa live. Pwede rin asynchronous wherein i-record yung entire entire proceedings. So for example, nga inventory, for example, yan. So they will record the entire proceedings, so from the start to finish, and upload the video recording. So yan. Yun yung dyan. So we have to list now all the possible ones and think if it is applicable to the audit objectives that we wanted to achieve. So yan. So I'm just giving you some samples of the methods of information gathering that we used. But if you wanted a standard, no, I have included it also on the next slide. So this standard is from the ISO 19011 guideline for auditing management systems. So I've heard na you are also preparing for QMS, no? So this document is really important, no, for the internal audit team who will conduct the QMS, no, because this will be the standard that you have to follow while conducting the QMS audit. So yan, so this document is available free. I think this is free also, but we have we have this na in our library. No, I'm not sure if this is free, but yun. As you can see here, these are the audit methods that the ISO international standard provided, no, if you conduct an on-site audit strategy or a remote strategy, no. And then if you need human interactions, no, what can you do on-site? What can you do remotely? If you don't need naman human interactions, there are also activities that you can use. No, so this table is just one of many other methods, no, na nandun sa guideline. But I believe that this tool will be very beneficial no for the audit team no to read no in planning to conduct your remote audit. Again no, there is no big difference no from remote auditing to traditional auditing. It's just that we have to add this additional step no yung remote audit initiation stage, wherein we determine if we are good to implement remote audit or not. Ayun. So after that no, ayan, so just a big lang yan, a slide no, para you have a clear vision of the methods. But in future, what is in it for us no as an organization and as an internal audit function? So now we cannot just stop at remote auditing. So we have what you call na the hybrid work setup, or for the internal audit, it's hybrid auditing. So it's really just a combination of traditional on-site auditing and remote audit. And as you can see in the diagram na mas malaki yung time consumed in the house no, as a representative ng remote setup and then dun sa on-site no, or dun sa office, because we already did no all of the information gathering activities, all of the audit procedures that we have remotely, and those things na lang that has to be verified on site, yun na lang yung titingnan natin. So what for us no sa internal audit team namin no, before we are going to the site no, we have to live in the facility for 2 weeks for 2 weeks to do our audits. But now we can just go there parang 2 days na lang or 3 days. Sometimes uwian na nga lang kami. So yun. So that's how hybrid auditing really works no. Just the combination of the two, the traditional one and remote audit. So that would be the future for us no as an internal audit function, because again no, if meron pa sa inyo yung parang nagde-desire na bumalik tayo sa normal na natin, yung dati nating kinagisnan no, it's really not the case anymore, because yun na the new normal term is it's really true na no, this is our new normal. So hybrid auditing is our new normal, so we have to keep up no, our organization and our audit function has to keep up with this. Why? Because of the next slide, because we already have some disruptive technologies no, that changes the entire model of our institution. I say institution because it's not only applicable to business institution, but it's also applicable to the government. So if you can hear of these 3 words no, terms no, machine learning and AI. So these are if you how do you call this, if you notice no, when you browse Facebook and then meron ka lang nasabi na nagka-crave ako ng donut, and then when you browse your Facebook, all of your ads, Google ads, ay yung Facebook ads niyo will be Food Panda, will be Grab Food and other food related advertisements. That's because of machine learning and AI. No, so the natural language processing, no, our phones listen to us, and yung generation nung languages is already working, no, kicking in our society, no. Hindi pa dumarating sa office niyo, pero nandito na, katabi niya na yung machine learning and AI, and it really changes, no, it really brings disruptive changes in the way we do our work. So yan no, voice recognition. So yun no, we have to be prepared for this one. That's why if we still desire no, if we still stick to traditional work setup as a general no, hindi lang auditing, so we cannot keep up with these disruptive technologies and our processes will be outdated. Yan. So I'm not making I'm not parang scaring you know, but it's really happening na. So it's either we are forced or we are to initiate ourselves no, to keep up with these technologies that is implementing na, and yun, in our in the real world. Ayan. So data analytics, yung mga SQL query for data, this is the database language, but this is mainly for the data analysts and internal auditors. Data visualization, yung mga dashboards natin, mga KPIs natin, no longer in an Excel form, but in a more visually pleasing interfaces. And then we have predictive analytics wherein yung mga database mismo natin is connected with our scripts na as an auditor, and see if there are already a tendency to for our financial performance to go down or to go up. So yan, ginagamit na rin yan not only in audit but in finance side, and even the other side, mga na rin, marami na rin applications, but the most famous applications of predictive analytics, even before, decades pa, ngayon lang siya talaga nagiging parang buzzword, but it's really present na before, in the finance and IT sector. So yan. And then RPA, robotic process automation, the famous application of this one is the continuous auditing, but it's not on our organization, hindi siya masyadong applicable. But in the banks, this is already happening. Dun sa mga fellow auditors natin na nasa banks, so meron more or less meron na nito sila, yung continuous auditing, wherein they do not need to select a sample, their systems, their scripts, auditing management systems were already connected with the data, sa banking data, and yun, may scripts na sila doon, may robots na sila doon, nag-i-scan ng information and nagpo-prompt na ito, possible findings, possible for investigation. So that's how RPA works, yan, yung mga automated scripts nila and data cleanup, just a one click of their in their laptops or in their screens, they can already clean the data and perform and perform mga audit procedures, imagine yung vina-vouch natin for 1 week, ginagawa lang nilang one click. So yun, so that's how scary it is, for disruptive technologies. And if the auditors and the organization is not keen on familiarizing with these technologies, we cannot keep up anymore. So yun yung natin, yun yung ating dito, how do you call this, yun yung take away ko dito on this slide. Ayan, so on the next slide, I've just gotten this slide, in the 2018's Global Economic Crime and Fraud Survey, conducted by PwC. This is a famous audit firm, and they always conduct, actually I think every pero I'm not sure if meron ng latest nito, or yun, but in during 2016 survey, inask nila yung mga institution from all over the world, how are their organization value artificial intelligence and advanced analytics, to monitor fraud related areas. So sa mga auditors, medyo interesting to, kasi paano nga ba dinedetect ng mga nasa ibang bansa? Paano yung mga technologies na ni-use nila, to detect fraud? And as you can see here, way back 2018, meron na pala nitong mga to, and we are just knowing this now. So like for example, machine learning. Ayan, so 70% of 78% of the survey participants use machine learning, or see machine learning as a reliable tool for detecting fraud. And then the next one is the predictive analytics. So I'll explain muna these two, yung machine learning and predictive analytics with 78 and 75% na trust rate, the most famous application of this one is analyzing our credit card data. So yung machine learning, you cannot, data analytics and machine learning, and AI cannot be viewed separately, nasa isang lang sila. So itong lahat ng to, hindi sila hindi sila parang, you do not need to view them separately, but they work cohesively, no? So yung machine learning daw at saka yung predictive analytics, no? And even natural language processing, no? They collect, no, yung mga customers credit card data, credit information, no? Kung ano yung mga binibili nila usual, and yung machine will learn the pattern of that customer, no? Yung spending patterns niya. And then the machine will learn, no, kung ano yung mga ano niya, kung ano yung mga possible lang niya na ma-spend, ito lang yung amount niya. So he will learn everything, no, the system, no, the AI will learn that. And should there be an outlier, for example, etong customer na to is not really using his credit card, no, to buy amounts that is as big as 100,000. So this machine learning, or this AI, no, will already prompt the bank na there is a possible fraudulent, how do you call this, fraudulent transaction happening. Maybe na-hack yung credit card ng customer or not. So they will now, if you have already experienced this, no, merong nagte-text na you have swiped the amount of 66,000, 77,000, mga ganyan, mga malalaking amount. But nagtataka kayo, bakit kapag nagsaswipe lang kayo ng 500, 1,000, hindi naman nagpo-prompt. So this is the application of that one. So yun. So it is really already used, no, for fraud detection. For predictive analytics, yun siya kasi predictive analytics is used, no, to understand the pattern of the customer, no, kung saang months lang siya gustong mag-spend. So kapag nag-spend siya ng something on parang kapag nag-deviate siya dun sa behavior ni customer, it will already prompt, no, the bank and see if and warn the customer if they are really the ones doing the transaction or not. So I'm sure na meron sa inyo nakaka-receive ng mga ganyang mga So yan, I'm just relaying it to you na ito yung application niya. And then for the the next one would be the natural language processing, no, with 48%. And then the voice recognition. Again, no, ito yung sa mga email filtering natin, no. Yung mga email natin, amin na ngayong napupunta sa spam. Unlike before na kapag hindi ka lang nagbukas ng 1 week, meron lang mga 1 to 2 sa mga personal emails natin na napupunta sa spam. But now, madami na napupunta sa spam. Tumatalino na si Gmail. It's because of the natural language processing application. So, na-analyze na nila yung email, no? Si Gmail services, na-analyze na nila. And na-filter na nila yung information. And there is even more smart filtering, like ano lang yung mga important emails mo, alin lang yung magpo-fall sa promotions, alin lang yung pang mga social media, galing sa social media, alin lang yung mga updates. So yun, it's very smart na. And you do not have to recategorize your emails para malinis lang yung main inbox mo, di ba? So that's how it is. So for voice recognition, some of our banks, this is more applicable din talaga sa mga banks, no, admittedly. But yun, we use our imagination, no, to think if this is possible to apply in our own industry, no. But voice recognition is also used, no, for I think Citibank na experience ko to, no, wherein they ask me if I would allow myself, no, to be subject for a voice recognition testing nila na feature, wherein kapag na-block yung aking, for example, gusto ko ipa-block yung aking credit card for a possible fraudulent transaction, I can just call, no, and yung sasagot sa akin is hindi na call center agent but a robot, and then the robot will just ask me and recognize my voice, no, authenticate my identity through my voice. So yan, so na yan siya. Kaya minsan baka possible na rin na na hindi na tayo maghintay ng long calls, no, kapag tatawag tayo sa Globe or sa mga banks, no. para lang makipag-usap sa mga customer service representative to block our accounts, no? Yun. So yun, natural language generation, ito yung mga text to speech, no, na mga generation natin, no? Yun yung mga sample applications niya. Like for example, Google Meets, no, already has this auto transcribe speech tawag dito, feature, no, wherein ako na nagsasalita dito, no, it will automatically transcribe, no, but hindi pa siya masyadong matalino ngayon kasi English pa lang yung nare-recognize niyang speech, no, hindi pa niya nare-recognize yung Tagalog, so marami pa rin siyang inaccuracies, but it's really starting na to happen, yan. So yun, ayan, so natakot ba kayo? Are you okay, guys? Okay. So, on the next slide. Ayan. So, on the next slide, no, this is just a parang another presentation, no, on how the organization naman is parang seeing the value na, no, of this disruptive technology in combating fraud. As I mentioned earlier, no, yung pinakamataas na trust sa kanila is yung continuous monitoring or yung na-mention ko na continuous auditing. And then yung email monitoring, no, yung email filtering, because yung mga phishing, this is the reason also why we really yung parang audit team namin personally parang personally ang favorite naming audit is SCM audit, because during the pandemic the fraud risk, no, in the entire globe really shooted up, no, especially on customer audits, no, and procurement frauds and customer frauds. Talagang in the global report talagang nagtaas siya, no, nung pandemic, because everything happened na in a work from home setup, and it's very easy for us to edit our documents, no, kung yung TikTok nga kaya mag-edit ng face mo, 'di ba? So yung mga documents pa kaya. So yan, so continuous monitoring and email monitoring are the top, no, technologies pa rin, no, trusted by the organization, no. And then periodic analysis and transaction testing and detection, proactive detection. Yung ang lahat ng to is actually applicable na in one way or another in our organization, no. But I'm not really sure about the other organizations, no, if they are already aware of this one. But my key point lang here is that maybe some of these ways, no, or parang methods, no, can already be implemented on your end din, no, in the government offices, no. For example, itong mga leveraging big data, no, baka marami na kayong nakapag-accumulate na kayo ng big data, and yung periodic analysis nyo can be already upgraded, no, into the next level, and it will change a lot on how you do your work, no, in internal auditing. So yan yung ating future, no, as internal audit team and even as an organization, no. These are the technologies that we are about to face in the future. So hindi lang pa masyadong prominent in the Philippines, but it's really possible na, highly possible to happen or to arrive in our own institution. Yan. So on the next slide, I believe these are my last sets of slides. Again, no, another report, no, from World Economic Forum, Global Risk Report. This is very latest, no. It's dated 2023. And as you can see here, these are the top 10 risks, no, that is most likely to happen in the next 2 years. And as you can see there, no, the red, I think that is red, no, but that is orange, but on my screen it's red, no. Cost of living crisis, erosion of the society, large-scale involuntary migration, no. These are societal na mga risk, no, that can disrupt our operations and even our audit services. So it may affect us really. And then those green ones are for environment, no, yung mga mga natural disasters, no? Mga extreme weather conditions happening to the Philippines na. Mga climate change issues, damage na mga incident regarding environment as well, and the natural resource crisis, no? And then cybercrime, cybersecurity. This is also happening na. And then, of course, in the Philippines, we are located in a very hot position, no, sa ating geopolitical na environment, and it's really a risk for us. So in this case, no, knowing these two risks, no, for the short term, is our internal audit function ready? No. If we are not ready, no, in this top 10 pa lang to, no, in our entire in our world, no, top 10 siya, and it's really happening in the next 2 years. So yan, can we keep up? No, not really, not then siguro not then in internal audit, but in our in the organizations or institution that we belong to. Just looking at this risk, no, are we still ready? No, are we already ready, no, to carry out our functions even as we go, even as this 10 risk is happening na in our society, no? On the next slide, no, I've also included there, no, kung ano naman yung top risk for the government sector, no, because you belong to the LGU. So yan, so cost of living crisis, no, is the top. Then again, no, the environmental disasters and the effects, no, of climate change, and then geo-economic confrontation, the debt crisis, as well as the yung mga price trajectories natin, no, yung stabilization niya, we cannot parang flatten it or stabilize it. So yun, isa rin siyang top risk ng government. And yung widespread na cybercrime and cyber insecurity. So again, no, for the government, looking at this top 10 risk, are we ready? Are we ready to face, no, the challenges, to continue our services, no, rendering our public services, no, even if this risk will hinder us, no, from moving forward. So yun lang yung gusto kong message on this slide, no. And then on the last slide, I've included the top 10 naman on the next 10 years. And if you can see here, maraming greens na maraming environmental related risk. And it just shows, no, na we cannot really go back on traditional auditing na, because this report pa lang, no, is really prompting us na to change our way of doing work, no, not only in remote auditing but in doing our operations na talaga, no, because these risks are present and true. So yan, so I'll leave to you that slide, no, to ponder on. Maybe Ivan and the rest of the IAS team can just share this one, or you can just search the this source na, yung World Economic Forum Global Risk Report, and it's really available and free for all, no, in the internet. And you can there, you can see there, no, kung ano yung mga meaning nito and how probable it is in our country as well, no, yung mga risk na to from happening. So in a conclusion, no, on the next slide, so remote auditing enables the auditors to review audit process anywhere in the world. So not only in our homes, no, but wherever you are. So it really enables us na to do our work, no, in any type of setup. And then for the challenges of remote auditing, this can be addressed now by carefully assessing the feasibility of the remote audit activity, and also leveraging the existing enablers that you have in your organization. So again, no, you don't have to wait for your organization to be digitalized, no. If you have already started the efforts to digitize, it's already possible or feasible for us to start our journey in remote auditing, or even in remote work setup. Yan. So there is no going back to traditional auditing, no. Internal audit has evolved, no, because the internal audit function should no longer wait for everything to turn normal. Instead, we have to start advocating na as internal audit function, no? We have to start advocating na digitization and digitalization for our organization. No? We have to spark na the organization to view the transformation of our organization, no? To keep up with the disruptive technologies that is already present in our society, as well as the risks, no, that is already manifesting for the next 2 to 10 years in our world. Ayan. So with that, I am ending this presentation, no? And I will just leave you yung quote ni Mark Zuckerberg, no? With regards to remote auditing, no? Sabi niya, people are more productive working at home than people would have expected daw. And some people thought na everything is just going to fall apart, no, during the time of the pandemic, but it hasn't, no. Some people did not believe in remote work, remote auditing, and they believe na hindi siya magiging effective for us, but looking at in our organization, hindi naman siya nag-crumble. And it moves us, or parang it forced us to improve more on the way we do things, no, other than destroy our function, no, because we've changed, no, we've done away the traditional way of our audit, no, but we've moved to hybrid auditing, no. It will not crumble, no, it will just improve more, because you as an auditor, as part of that transformation, is also pushed, no, to improve how you think and how you do things. Ayan. So thank you everyone, and if you have questions, I'll open the floor now for your questions. Ayan. Ivan and the team?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning po.
Yes.
I have a question po about remote auditing. Is remote auditing, ma'am, applicable for all audit process po ba?
Ayun.
Kung applicable po ba siya sa lahat?
Ayun. So again, no, remote auditing is not applicable for all, no. That's why we do feasibility study, no, for remote auditing, because there are really risks, no. Ayun, let's go back to basic internal audit tools, na kung naaalala niya pa yung mga risks. Okay, no, there are really risks na we cannot cover remotely. So yun yung pinaka-important na mindset natin, no. So that's why if these risks cannot be covered, no, we have to like we have to think, no, if we can do this remote audit partially, no, and then parang postpone the assessment of the ano tawag dito, the risk, that particular risk, no, na we cannot audit remotely, no, into an on-site audit. No, that's why we have this hybrid audit. Yeah, can you flash the hybrid audit na slide natin? We have that one, right? I think, yeah. Ayan, sige pa. Yan, okay. So yan. So for those risks, no, that we cannot cover during our remote audit section, we have to parang allocate a Monday, no, or parang a timeline to just go at the site and conduct the on-site audit for that particular risk na lang. So that's how hybrid auditing works, no. So yun, if hindi applicable yung remote audit, no, we can move to on-site audit, or we can employ hybrid auditing. So ang difference niya lang is yung hybrid auditing, it will happen on the same time period, no. So ibig sabihin kasama siya sa end-to-end engagement, no. But when we talk about on-site auditing, separate talaga siya na engagement. So separate talaga siya na. Ibang timeline siya. For example, we do our remote audit today, but we will come back 2 months later for the on-site audit, parang ganun. But for hybrid auditing, we do our on-site and our remote audit within the month of April or May, ganyan. So yun lang yung pagkakaiba. So I hope I answered your question at hindi ka nalito.
Okay naman po, ma'am. So parang
Okay.
ano po siya, mix po siya ng ano, traditional on-site kapag needed po ng on-site. Tapos pag ano po, yung remote po yung gagamitin. Parang ganun. Parang
Yes.
halo po siya, mix.
Yes. So dynamic na yung ating audit services in a way. Yan. So yan. Any other questions? Even yung mga ano, I know there are a lot of process owners here, no? Baka meron kayong gustong itanong na nagda-doubt kayo na paano ba, baka on your side, no, may mga naiisip kayong worries, ganyan. We can discuss it and ano, it's also our time to communicate, no, yung mga ano natin, doubts and worries about remote auditing and remote work. Yan, no? Any other? Ayan, pwede nyo ring i-chat ha, baka nag-shy kayo. Ayan, pwede nyo ring i-chat yung mga questions nyo. So, yan. Or if not, pwede nyo rin akong hanapin sa LinkedIn.
Sige po, ma'am.
And shoot an email to me or message me in LinkedIn. No? My profile is available there. You can ask your questions there if nahihiya kayo. Yan. Or you can search my profile din sa Facebook. No? Friend ko naman si Ivan. So,
Sige po, ma'am.
yan.
Thank you so much po, Ma'am Jacqueline. By the way, ma'am, I'm Victor po from Internal Audit
Hi,
Services.
thank you.
I'm Victor from Internal Audit Staff po ng LG Odiongan. Thank you so much.
Nice.
So,
Yes.
meron lang po akong ano, comments dun sa inyong reports. Madami po kaming natutunan, lalo-lalo na po yung pros and cons ng remote auditing, kung ano yung mga hindrances na pwede mangyari about remote auditing at ano rin po yung mga benefits ng remote auditing. And then, nagkakaroon po pala ng feasibility study for the process owners tapos yung audit team para bago po mag-conduct ng audit para po may mutual ano po sila kung itutuloy po ba yung or kaya po bang maging possible po ba yung audit natin. So yun lang po, ma'am. Thank you so much po, ma'am, for your knowledge, sharing your knowledge ngayong umaga po sa amin. Madami po kaming natutunan sa inyong mga presentation po. Ayan po.
Thank you,
So,
Victor.
thank you po, Ma'am Jacqueline. So, let's now proceed po sa ating program. So, meron pong, to all our participants, meron po kaming provide na feedback forms na nakalagay po sa comment section. Ito po yung link. Nandito rin po siya sa chat box, sa comments, na sinend po ni Sir Ivan. Pa-fill up na lang po para sa lahat ng ating mga participants. Ayun po. So let's now have an awarding of Certificate of Appreciation to our resource speaker. So, Republic of the Philippines, Province of Romblon, Municipality of Odiongan, Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Ms. Jacqueline Sila Yugan for sharing her valuable knowledge as a resource speaker at the recently concluded webinar on new trends in internal auditing. Remote audit on April 19, 2023 held via Zoom. Signed by Honorable Trina Alejandro Q. Permalo Pabic and our Municipal Mayor and Honorable Divin F. Di Maala, our Municipal Vice Mayor. So mayroon na kaming copy dito ng signed na po na certificate, ma'am. Papadala na lang namin din po sa iyo. Thank you so much po, Ma'am
Thank
Jacqueline.
you. Thank you
So,
everyone for listening, and I hope na you can start your journey na in transforming your way of doing work.
thank you po. So, thank you so much, ma'am. So, any other message po, Sir Ivan, to end our webinar, sir?
Hello, good morning ulit. Malapit na yung lunch natin. So, Ma'am Jacqueline, thank you po ulit sa opportunity na binigay niyo po sa amin to speak in behalf for us. sa remote auditing. So yun nga, nasa pipeline kasi talaga namin na mag remote auditing or mag-hybrid. So depende po kung no. Kaya ay nag 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 ano muna kami, nag-venture out kami possibles pwedeng gawin namin. So thank you po sa opportunity na binigay niyo po sa amin. And then para po sa mga participants po natin, lahat po naman din, please free po na i-take po yung natin, yung feedback form para po mas lalo pa po namin mapa-improve ang aming webinar na ginagawa no, sa aming mga activities. So ayun po. And then yun lang. Thank you po ulit, no? So, yung Zoom meeting po natin is open hanggang lunch para po sa mga participants natin na kailangan mag-submit ng feedback form. So, ayun lang po. Thank you po ulit. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you po. Picture taking muna tayo, no?
Picture taking muna tayo, sir.
Picture taking muna tayo.
Pa-on cam na po yung mga participants po natin. Opo, opo. Nasali kayo. Okay na po ba lahat? Nakapag-on cam na po for our picture taking.
Sige, Trey. Pwede na yan, Trey.
Okay po. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Other one po. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much po. Okay na po.
Thank you po sa lahat.
Thank you so much.
So much po.
Thank you, Ma'am Jackie.
It's an honor. Bye-bye.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Jackie. Salamat po.
Bye. Jackie na lang. Jackie lang tayo. Friends lang. Bye-bye.
Bye po, Miss Jackie.
Bye, Victor. Nice meeting you. Bye-bye.
Sige.